All right, guys. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about this. Let me just march on into it. Sorry I haven't been. I'll try to be dropping some videos now, but like I said, I have a lot going on, so it's just hectic. But I'll try to be dropping some videos. But let me talk about this. All right. Let me start with I did not want to, like I said, this is not a recap channel, so I wasn't planning to do anything on the reunion. I like I said before, I don't do recaps. This is not a housewife channel. You can check for any other place for this. I just do what I love to watch, and so I'm very soon I'll soon stop watching Housewives. So it's just because my female friend introduced me to it, so I just got in touch with it. But it's getting dry for me, and I want to step back into my masculinity. All right, guys. But I wanted to talk about this. I found this part two to be a little bit lighter, interesting, because I wanted to touch on some things. First of all, I Kiana was a major conversation in this part too, obviously. I feel Kiana sometimes, I understand she wants to have that maybe iconic moment, and then she wants to have that her moment and everything. But the iconic moment mostly comes when you don't try and just comes natural like that. She keeps trying and it always sometimes it falls flat, sometimes it just looks ridiculous. But I don't now I know most people find her boring and everything, which she is, and she can be annoying. But I don't know. I'm still trying to give her some more chances. Let's just see what the future holds. But I might not, obviously, this might be my last, or this is my last Potomac recap. Or that's it, my last Potomac watch at all. Like I said, I'm not really interested in Housewives anymore. So, yeah, so I don't know how the future will hold for her. Giz, let me move on to Jizzy, Giselle. Now, the whole when I was kind of I would have touched more on Kiana, but I'll come back to Kiana. Let me just move on a little bit. Now I found it interesting, the whole, like I said, even before Kempire said anything and so on, and before I heard it from Money TV and everything, I already said that you can't just say the lady is evil because she won the will over her husband or whatever the case was of the whole. I stopped paying attention. I really do not care about that whole will thing because it ain't adding 1 cent to my life. But I just found it interesting that the way she just bluntly said, "Oh, the evilness of the lady," or how evil. I don't know the whole story. I don't know what was going on. I could care less what was going on. Sometimes there are certain things you should just not try to engage in a battle. You should just try winning in another way. But sometimes you have to engage certain things in a battle, for your own peace of mind. So yeah, I would say in this case I did not like the way she bluntly said it, but I don't even know who most people are saying, like the way Kempire is saying, yeah, that, oh, with the way Giselle behaves, he might be, he's not saying he's on the lady's side, but he said he has, which is okay, but we can't really say. You never know who with the way Giselle is, and she came out of her father. And no, if Giselle is like that, surely the father has a blood in him, like Giselle. I'm just trying to be putting ridiculous strategy together. Then he could pick somebody who is as crazy as him to marry. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. Yeah, I'm just joking around. But yeah, God, may he so rest in peace. Yeah, I shouldn't be talking about somebody like that. But yeah, I don't really know. Like I said, I don't know what the story is. I really don't know. I just don't want to get into it, because I know her father died when season 8 or something like that. So Yeah, during when they were filming CCA, during that whole JNA party, I remember she went to the hospital that time. So I don't really know. So it would be best we just don't comment on all that. But I would say it's best that Giselle does not even mention something like evilness of Philly, even if the woman was very evil. It makes it harder for certain weights to move forward. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't. What would the lady do to her? She already won. You know. So yeah, let me say that. All right, moving on. Moving on. And with the way human beings are right nowadays, I really try to not judge anyone. So as much as Giselle has been annoying, I'm not saying Giselle. That's why I'm not taking her story award for it. If Giselle was credible, I would have at least people would have at least had 50% credibility for. But you see, that's the thing when you keep playing dirty, you can't keep playing dirty and expect to win. No, you can't. But at the same time, it won't be right for us to just be like, okay, because we know Giselle like this now. So let's give it a chance that okay, she could still be have some credibility in this case, or maybe not. All right, moving on, moving on. Yeah, so Jazzy, like even Jazzy is a performer, but the difference between Jazzy and I might do a short on all this. The difference between Jazzy, Kiana, and Stacy is that Stacy is funny, Kiana is just try hard, then Jazzy is just picking, looking for what to pick at and just picking and choosing, I would say, what to try. She's trying to come off calculative, but it's looking stupid, and at the same time, she needs to stop weaponizing how much she has because it makes you look broke. I've always said this you know whether you're from you married a rich guy, you're from a rich home, all those things just make you look broke. And that's one of the reasons I respected Candice for, I would say. I don't think Candice ever threw her mom's money. Oh, my mom is rich. She did let us know, yes, her mother is a rich woman, but she never treat like, oh, because she's a rich woman I don't have to work or so. No, I think Candice always still true. In fact, she was even avoiding the whole mother thing. She didn't even like it in that sense. Or whether she liked it, she never just threw it in our faces, which was, it makes people feel like, okay, you're not an entitled brat, and even at that. And I even heard the guy is not even that rich, the Jazzy's husband. I was like, so what is she doing? Like, first of all, he's not that rich. And even if he was that, like, it's just embarrassing. So as soon as I was just like, she makes people turned off, and people can be turned on to her, but she makes people turn off. But she has a hot look, but she just makes people turn off. And she's also, like I said, she's a performer. So the only difference between her, Stacy, and Kiana is that one is funny, and a liar. One is a try hard and falls flat. Then she's a, what would I say, issue picker miss. you know. Now, once again, I've said this before, I like Tia. So my only thing with Tia is that Tia, she needs to bring it. I feel Tia can replace now that Wendy is going to be gone. She needs to be and I also feel she might have that in the back of her mind. Okay, if Wendy is going to not be here next season, that's what I'm saying. Tia, she needs to come with that energy. You know, I feel she can bring it in, but she relaxes a bit. She's being calm because she's like, okay, in her head, the way she's filming the show is not the way she needs to. I don't know, but I want her to bring in the energy because if she's talking about that Vanderpump thing, which I noticed, that means she does watches Housewife. She does watches Housewife. And if she does watch his housewife, that means she understands the kind of energy that she should have. A unique energy, but something in it. And I like the way she talks. I like the way she articulates herself. Like I said, and I've said it before, not all British accents. In fact, there are many. You guys know I don't like British. It's not my number one. It's not my number. I even prefer my own African accent. In fact, I prefer South African accent to British. Okay, now It's not just my number one, it's not my number two as accent. I don't like British accents, you know. So, but there are some that actually are nice, you know, but there are some that are whack, trust me on that. So you all don't think that, oh, because of it's a British accent. Nah. Tia just speaks fluently, and that's one thing I like about her. But sometimes her accent does annoy me. I would like so that is the thing with British accent. It could be very pissy because of the way it sounded like a forced or like they want to vomit in a way, you know. But nothing against, you know. Well, yeah. Let's see. I still would love to see from Tia, but sad enough, I'm not more watching. Anyway, moving on. I've talked about Giselle. I've talked about, you know, so in this whole part two, I don't want to be focusing on each of them alone because I wanted to talk about this whole part two. You know, I feel some of the questions, even I don't know who picks some of Andy's question, why he glosses over some issues so quick. I found that to be an issue because I noticed even that tape thing before Money TV talked about it. I wanted to talk about it. That tape thing where there's a tape recording thing. You know, you can't gloss over that recording thing. Maybe in his mind, he's like, okay, um, we will see about it after the show. You know, maybe he might talk to producers. They might not let Jazzy because I can actually feel how people feel uncomfortable. Nobody wants to be recorded. Nobody wants their except if they are consenting to it. You know, nobody just wants to be unknowingly recording. And why are you recording? I don't even get why she's recording the whole conversation. I can understand why she okay, rather I get why she's recording, but I don't know why she if there isn't some kind of realization. Okay, if you're not very smart with this recording, just don't record at all. Because if three ladies already know, at least there should be a sign that Jazzy should know that okay, people know she's recording. And if that is the case, then I don't get they should not let it slide off so easily, you know. Let her be held accountable because if it was somebody else's but let her just be held accountable. But at the same time, I do, the reason is that it wasn't like a pressing issue, but that is the thing I have an issue with the whole Bravo TV. You know, if it's not highlighted on, sometimes they don't highlight on some of the small things that should be highlighted on until when it's highlighted on. I'm like, no, you guys have to highlight on it, you know, before it becomes really something for you. If everybody was not laughing about this whole Stacy stuff and everything, trust me, them too, they will not be laughing about well because everybody is laughing at it. Stacy lies too much, and it's sometimes it's not even funny. I don't know why people find it very funny. It's not funny because her lies sometimes could be annoying is different. Like I said, it's different watching the show than you being in a group where somebody you know is just lying. And you know it's a lie, but you're going along with it. You know, it's annoying. So she lies so much, you know, and the kind of things she lies about, I'm like, okay, she I don't even know. She just lies, you know. And it's possible, like I said, sometimes she's unaware, sometimes it's not like some of them I don't see intentional. Some of them I feel like okay, she was trying to do something, but she still lies. The only thing I'm saying, she should not be denying her lies. Finish. You know, she does lie. She does lie. I've said it before. Or from what I've seen anyway, like I said, it's an edited show. So from what we've all seen, you know, she does lie. She does. Then I also wanted to touch on oh, like I said, Wendy was still seeing the whole future in there because I don't know what else they want to. I'm really not interested in the whole Wendy because she's already indicted, was seeing everything play out. What else does she have to say? You know, except if she wants to blame Eddie for it. I really don't know what she would say that would really be like, wow, you know, because we saw everything facial. But let's just see to wrap it up, you know. Then Karen, I did say this. I don't see the use of Karen coming. We already even had a last, like there's no use, but you know them, don't always pull something. It's no use for Karen to be there. There is no use, not no reason for Karen to be like this season had so many casts that if they could fit them in another show, they'll still be remaining. I'm like, they had too many casts, man. They had too many. So yeah, but that is all I can say about this whole reign. Then okay, let me talk about the major culprits that started this episode. Ashley. Now, here's the thing. Everybody knows Ashley is unlikable. I don't still know why she's on that chair. Trust me. I that is how you know that Bravo works. That's how you know they work. I don't still know why she's on that chair. I Here's the thing. I don't hate Ashley. I don't dislike her. Okay, I don't. Okay, I don't hate her. I don't dislike her. I don't find her. I find her annoying, but I don't dislike her. I don't hate her. But I feel that obviously Ashley is in there for the show because there has to be that energy. If not, we'll be watching something else. But anyway, Jesus today. But here is the thing. I feel like I said, Ashley is she can be problematic, and even apart from that, I don't know. I've seen Ashley. People don't give grace to her. I'm not saying that she's anything of an angel. So no, but I would say this time, this one part, this one Ashley is very shady and everything, and she has that. It's like a natural shadiness. This show really fits her, but I will give her this that there was this time when the whole Mia thing happened, and people keep forgetting. That's why I said sometimes just watch and enjoy the show. Don't be trying to judge all those. That's why I don't do recap, and I'm not even interested in all these shows anymore because this is the thing with reality TV. There was actually a time when Ashley did have Wendy's back when the whole Mia thing happened, and Ashley was like she does not like the whole household of towards Wendy and everything. You all of a sudden forgot that, So after that happened, I was like, okay, I can see that people were able to say, okay, at least Ashley has some sense, but now, it's different. That is the thing. I'm not saying Ashley is not shady and everything. She's in there for the show. Who knows whether she even does mostly of producers. Well, she even talks like a producer herself. She could be behind the camera the night. But, I don't dislike her. Let me just end it at that. I don't dislike her. I don't like her because she's too messy. But I don't dislike her. I feel she still has a character in her. So I don't dislike her. And as for Angel, like I said, Angel is just boring. But let's just give her a chance. All right, guys. So this is what I have to say for this reading. I don't think I'll do any part three talking. I've already done part one. And so I just said, let me talk about this. I don't think I'll do any part three, any talking. They should just end this thing. Let's go and rest. And then I think they have released Married to Medicine sitting chat. For Married to Medicine, I don't know what they're still. I really don't know why they're still all these kind of reality shows. I think should have a certain time when they stop it because for Married to Medicine, I don't know how they are still having their license. That is my biggest question. All those doctors, I don't know how they are still having their license with all I've seen on TV. Enough. I'm not saying that yes, it's not an issue or so, but okay. Nah, I just don't understand. I really don't understand. It's like a show on a show. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. And I really am uh, um, I'm also bored of that one. All these black shows, they just need to do. One of the reasons I like Potomac, let me also say this. because I wanted to say this before, one of the reasons I actually like Potomac is because it gave me a different feeling of a black reality show. It does not give you that love and hip hop vibe and all those kind of black shows, all those VH1 black shows. No, it gives you a different vibe, and that is one of the reasons I respect Bravo for. But at the same time, Bravo still has that vibe of VH because if you see Atlanta of now, it's so hip hop, love and hip hop vibe, and all those nonsense. And I don't want it. I don't like all those love and hip hop vibe. It's too apart from ghetto and so on. It's too I don't know feisty. You know. Anyway, guys, tell me what you all think. I'll do a short on this, and I also, I just finished watching The Neighborhood. I might watch Paradise. I like the way this season 2 is starting, so I might actually watch it. Let's see. I said I was not going to watch season 2, but actually, the way it ended out right now. So yeah, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see you. Bye.